Welcome to Show You How To. And as promised, today I'll be talking about LLCs. What is an LLC? It's a limited liability company. So before I get started, I want to say I'm not a CPA, nor am I a lawyer. Take this advice with a grain of salt. This is based on my experience and just research. So, an LLC is a legal liability corporation, and basically it separates you from your business. That's what an LLC does. It separates you from your business. So, it separates your personal assets from your business assets. So, if you're ever sued, they only can come for your business asset, not your personal asset. So, that is all that an LLC does. Well, not all, but that is one of the things an LLC does. So, when you get your LLC, you're going to get an EIN number. Well, you have to apply for your EIN number, which is very simple. You could do that in 5 minutes. And your EIN number is basically, many people compare it to your social security number. So you want to keep that with you. That's the number where you pay no taxes and all that stuff. That's what an EIN number is. So a lot of people talk about the tax benefits of an LLC, and a lot of people argue about the benefits. So LLC falls under pass-through taxation, right? That's what the entity falls under. So pass-through taxation is when an entity only gets taxed once on the business, right? So if you made $100,000 as a business, you only pay one tax. They have double taxation as well, which other entities fall under, and this is where you're taxed 2 times. So the 2 time your tax is based on your revenue, how much you made if you made $100,000 for that year, and then also if you paid yourself a salary, you are taxed on that as well. So that is something to consider. If you're considering an LLC or another entity, people argue different things about it, about the taxation and, all that stuff or whatever. But an LLC, it goes under pass-through taxation. So that is one thing that people find beneficial with an LLC. So with that being said, after you form your LLC, there's different things that you need to do. And we're going to get into those things. So if you do your LLC yourself, these are things you need to make sure you have. You want to make sure you have your operating agreement. And this is just procedures and just all this stuff that just basically tells you your business is operated and it's up to all that OSHA and all that stuff or whatever. So it's a document that you have. Then it's also an EIN number, which I mentioned before. You want to make sure you file for that as well. Now, if you go through a company like me, I went through Legalzoom. Shout out to Latoya. And, Legalzoom, I'm from New York, so they charged me over $400 to file for my LLC. I got like a whole little zhuzh package, right? And with that package, my EIN number did not come within that package, but they did give me my operating agreement. So you have to make sure you get that if you file it for yourself, or if you just go through a company to file your LLC. Your EIN number, you have to file for that for yourself. You just go to your state site and file for your EIN number. It literally comes in 5 minutes. You can upload it to your computer, print it out, and boom, you got an EIN number. I do not think you need to pay anyone to get your EIN number. If you need a video, ask me, and I'll give you a video of how to get your EIN number. So it's so easy. So with your EIN number, you can open your business bank account. So the 3 things that you need immediately after is your operating agreement, your EIN number, and then you need to open your business bank account. The reason why you need to do this is for taxation reasons, right? You want to make sure you can report everything, and you don't want to mix it up with their personal accounts because you won't be able to decipher what's business or what's personal. So it's important to open a separate business account than your personal account. It's so important because a lot of that stuff you are able to write off. If you have a home office business, you can write off certain things like utilities. You can write off certain things like the internet. Please don't write off your whole utilities for your entire house. Like, they're gonna know. Like, they're gonna know you lying. It's just whatever space that you are using to operate your business. So maybe you're using 20% of the space in your home or 20% of the internet. That is what you can write off on your taxes. Don't OD, because you don't want to owe the IRS money. It's not fun. So, with that being said, that's what an LLC covers. It's a limited liability company. It protects you. It protects your personal asset. It separates you from your personal assets. You are charged pass-through taxes, which you are only taxed once. So, I want to mention something. I'm from the state of New York, and when you file an LLC in the state of New York, as I said, I went through Legalzoom. Shout out to Latoya. I paid over $400 for my LLC. I got like a little package, right? And that did not include the EIN. Let me say that. So I got a little package, and you have to make sure that you're staying up to date with your documents, right? In your state, and they will send it to you. One way to stay real up to date with your documents is to get a registered agent. That is like one of the best ways, right? But when you get a registered agent, your mail may be sent to their address. So that's another thing to consider. So in the state of New York, Arizona, and I forgot the other state, the state of New York, Arizona, let me look at my notes, and Nebraska. They actually, when you get your LLC, you have to let it be known. You have to publish it in the newspaper. So when you publish your LLC in the newspaper, this is only in 3 states. I don't know why they haven't got up to date. It's like annoying. So only in 3 states, Nebraska, Arizona, and New York. You have to publish your LLC. So New York is a very expensive state. In order to publish your LLC in New York, if you live in the 5 boroughs, you basically have to pay, it's like $800 to $1,000, right? So you have to pay that money. When I found that out, I was so mad. I was like, this is more than the LLC. I'm like, this is more than the LLC. Why? But that is something to consider as well. With other entities, you do not have to do those publications. Right? Only with an LLC you have to do those publications. Only for those 3 states, Arizona, Nebraska, and New York. Some people go through loopholes, and you can file your LLC. As I said, I'm not a CPA nor a lawyer. Do what's right. You can get a registered agent, and they can file an LLC for you in maybe upstate. Right? They can file an LLC for you upstate, and the price will be a lot lower than if you do it within the 5 boroughs, if you do it within the inner city. So you will get it at a lower price. But with that being said, when you get a registered agent, your address is going to change, because you're going to file you're going to do your publication at that address. So once again, if your address is changing, all your mail is going to go to that registered agent, which they will take care of your documents, but you will no longer get your mail. Maybe they will forward it to you, but you will no longer get your mail. If you want to change your address back to your original LLC address, in my state, it will be a $50 cost. I don't know how it varies within different states, but it will be I believe it's a $50 cost. You can check on your state website to see how much it is. So that's a lot within itself. So I was like, woo, but I chose something that I want to do. I was happy because I was considering dissolving the LLC, because you can dissolve the LLC, but then that's additional fees as well, right? But with all of that being said, that was my experience of having an LLC. You do have to get a publication if you are in New York City. So I would say have maybe $1,500 to $200. I'm sorry, $1,500 to $2,000. So you can pay for the other fees that come with it, like your publication, unless you want to go the other route and use a registered agent. I think it's good to have a registered agent, because then they stay on top of your documents. So that is an awesome thing to have. They stay on top of your documents, New York State laws and all that stuff. They do your documents for you. And I mean, I like to hire people to do what they do. So that is all with the LLC that I will talk about today. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave it in the comments. So let's go over what we learned today. LLC is a legal liability company. It separates you from your brand. It separates your brand from you. So with that being said, you have a different tax you pay a different tax. You pay pass-through tax. So you pay tax one time, which is a little bit different. Almost anyone could file for an LLC. I believe the main thing you need is a social. Some people say there's a way around that. I don't know. So you just need your social. You don't need to be a New York resident, nor you need to be a citizen, which with other entities you do. You could hire a registered agent to do your publication. You could hire them to organize your documents as well. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you have any questions, please shoot it in the box. I'll try my best to answer them. Next week, we'll get into the different entities and talk about more, and you will make the best choice for you for your business.